Hey, hello, welcome to Warriors of Life. And today we are going to make something very much different kind of session at our channel. And if you are new here, so let us know. Let you tell me that we are here to make you aware, not only for the UPSC aspirant or the WBCS or the civil service aspirant. This channel is for the people awareness as well. So as you can see here, someone is with us who is an enormous personality. So before his introduction, I'm pretty sure you have already known he is the none other than Soumya Datta. But before that, I just want to give a very short little kind of description about why he is here. What is the structure of the society properly, how the society can build it up with a very proper sequence when the society has a very good infrastructure about the education, about the health, and the most important is its economy. So Indian society's economy is only standard upon the banking sector. So either it is RBI or it is SBI or it is something, because as a apex bank, the RBI is not the bank. It is a banker, or like it's a bank. It is called the bank of the bankers, but it is not the bank who deals with the people and the community. This is the public sector bank who does it. And who is here? After the finance minister, who actually jotted down all the schemes and policy regarding the banking sector, but we the people, we only see the banking, the chief manager. If we have any doubt or troubles, we just directly go to the chief manager. Otherwise we start our confirmation, or about the asking the people that what we need to know. If we have any doubt regarding any policies and scheme that we don't know, we directly go to the first, the clerical staff, to the banking officer, whoever it is. We just go to them, but we cannot have any communication with directly with the like the finance minister. That is not even possible. But after that finance minister, if someone is very much authenticate about the banking terms and policy and schemes, that is only Shomo sir. So let's introduce us the very, this is like the very proud moment of our channel as well, because here Shomo sir is with us. See, I am fumbling because he is not only first thing is that I don't leave any situation if there is any point that I can be a proud Bengali, that yes, he is a Bengali too, but still he is the general secretary of all India Banking Officers Confederation. So it does mean he is not even, I know, if though all those viewers, if you are from SBI, you know him as, people are, I have heard people to say, hey, Shomo sir is like godlike person. You cannot even, you cannot have that conversation with him. But always it meant to me like I know him personally, and it always felt to me that I am talking with someone further like to me. So this is why I requested him that I have a problem when people talk why the banking strike is going on there, because 15th of March and 16th of March, the whole banking community is going on a strike. People have so many agitation, but sir, I just want to start from here. That is this important? Is this so much important to have this strike? And I really want you to take over whole conversation, because you are the best person. Actually, I started this functioning, but I think you are the best person to host and lead this program. So I really want you to say this to my students or any viewers who are here to see this thing, because you have appeared so many news channels, you have appeared in so many conference, but I'm pretty sure every time it was in between the bankers and you and the ministry, right? But the maximum number of people what YouTube can give the people, that the direct communication with the normal civilian and the banker, and not only the banker, the general secretary of the bankers. So I think you are the best person to continue this topic. So this is my request. Please tell me how much important it is that 15th March and 17th, 17th, 16th March strike of All India Banks Federation.
Okay. Thank you, Pooja, for inviting me over to your channel. So I greet all the viewers who are viewing this program. Very good evening. Uh, Before I go into the subject, I'd like to congratulate Pooja, who's doing some yeoman work for the UPSC aspirants, trying to fulfill the dreams of people who want to hold a key bureaucratic position in the government and changing lives of millions of people across the country. Now, we bankers have been precisely doing this job for the last 50 years. Why I say 50 years? It's like that. It is the We are in the 52nd year of bank nationalization, which happened in 1969. Now, before I go into the subject, let me just brush up some history for all the viewers for their benefit. Now, when India became independent, at that point of time, there were 97 scheduled banks and around 567 non-scheduled banks, which were basically small private banks. Now, these private banks were mainly run by business houses, private business houses. And one of the pitfalls of this having the ownership of these private banks was that they they only concentrated their lending to large business and they limited the access of say the weaker section of the society like the
Yes.
agriculture and the
Yes.
small and medium enterprises. So they were deprived. The money flowed from whatever deposits the people kept in those banks. They flowed to the large business houses, and there was also frequently they would channelize that money into their own businesses.
So only like the highest strata of the society. It was
Yeah,
not for the poor people,
not
not
even
the
higher. It was
people. Yeah.
clearly, I am owning a business. I need
Yeah.
money. I'm using the depositor's money to meet my credit requirements without paying an interest, a paisa of
Hmm.
interest, almost like that.
Yeah.
Now, there were increasing number of frequent bank failures and the public general deposits of the public were wiped out.
Hmm.
So imagine your hard-earned savings you're keeping in a bank. On one fine morning, you wake up to find the bank has gone bust, and with it, your entire deposits are wiped out.
Exactly.
What has
Exactly.
happened? What used to happen before nationalization? Now, nearly 500, over 500, if my memory serves me right, whatever I'm saying is figures from my memory.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
almost a near photographic memory, people say.
Okay. That you have.
Now, see, over around 550 odd banks failed during this period between 1947 and 1969.
Okay.
Now, late Prime Minister Indira Gandhi took a colossal decision of
Hmm.
uh, nationalizing the public sector banks. It was vehemently opposed. In fact, inside Congress, if you can look it up on the net, there was a concept of syndicate, a syndicate working in Congress, not like the syndicates that we hear
Yeah.
about in this part of the country, not like
Mm-hmm.
those cases. It was a syndicate which had actively they opposed the idea of bank nationalization, right?
Yes.
Only three
Yes.
people knew that the banks were going to be nationalized, right? So on 19th of July 1969, Madam Gandhi brought about this act. BBG signed it, right?
Yes.
And 14 banks were nationalized.
Exactly.
Now,
At the
it was
year
one of
of
the most,
1969.
yeah, one of the most important political and policy decisions taken by any government. That it was
Hmm.
a revolutionary decision, right?
Hmm.
And see, I have studied economics in my universities,
Yes.
and one of the most important things that I remembered was that of I remember my professor who's used to teach me economics.
Hmm.
Uh, he used to talk about he read about the works of John Maynard Keynes, one of the most greatest economic thinkers of the 20th century.
Hmm.
Now, he had said, I distinctly remember that he once said, ideas, knowledge, art, hospitality, travel. These are the things which should be, by their nature, they should be international. But then let the goods be homespun, and the capital, capital, huh? Capital, uh, the finance should be primarily national, right?
Okay. Yes.
So this is the pillar of this concept of nationalization, right?
Okay.
So this is how was the vision of this bank nationalization. That is how, with the vision of economic self-reliance, is a vision of getting self-reliant agriculture. It, the nationalization of this banks, 14 banks in 1969, and later another six banks in 1980, changed the economic landscape of the country. It
Yes.
transformed the face of banking, right, by
Yes.
bringing about an enormous expansion of banking services, ensuring financial inclusion through this priority sector lending norms, which enhance credit flow to agriculture and small industries. Basically, it reached out to the rural masses who were deprived of basic banking facilities. Now, the total number of bank branches, if I remember correctly, was 8262 in 1969. It rose to 60,000 around 200 odd in 1991, before this LPG, liberalization, this privatization, globalization.
Privatization and globalization. Huh. Yes.
Now, the rural branches increased at the time of nationalization. It was only around 1800 odd. It increased to around 35,200 odd, right, during this
Yes.
period. So you can understand, the viewers can understand the focus on rural branches. The government felt the need to this flow of credit to this rural sectors so that people living in this sectors who are largely non-banked, who do not have banking facilities, like Bijli, Sadak, Makan, Pani.
Exactly.
Banking
Exactly.
facility is also something, it is a need of life, the right to live,
Exactly.
right to have banking facilities, right? So,
Even at the time of the Great Recession, also India also strike back just because of this policy. That
yes,
because the
yeah, this
nationalization was
resilience
there.
India showed it is because of the public sector banks.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly. So.
see what has happened in the rural sector. People used to get borrow money from money lenders, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
the share of the debt of the rural households in India, uh, only 30% of the total debt was sourced from institutional lenders like banks, right? So
Okay.
70% of the money was borrowed from money lenders, right?
Hmm.
Now, if you look at the pattern of the change that came in 1991, the total rural debt, out of which 60% were financed by the public sector banks and the regional rural banks.
Okay.
So this eliminated this class of money lenders by and large, to a large extent, right? This was made possible due to the wide expansion of public sector bank branches. Now, uh, even today, this rural and semi-urban branches account for only 26% of all deposits. Only the 20% of the total credit outstanding. So only the expansion of public sector banks in the rural areas can ensure more credit flow to the rural areas and can garner more deposits from rural areas, right? They have money,
Hmm.
but they have no one to bank with. That is why
Yes.
these chit funds are flourishing in the rural areas. People
Hmm.
are alluring the rural people to park money with this chit funds,
True.
promising
True.
this exorbitant rate of interest, and people are
Yes.
enticed because there is no banking facility which can take care of their deposits. So what is now happening is, after particularly all the governments were trying to this change the banking reforms, bringing
Hmm.
banking reforms, but per se the bank unions were very strong, are still
Hmm.
very strong. They thwarted all the moves. But after 2014, when this particular government came to power, what has happened? Whatever promises they have made in the election manifesto, they are now fulfilled. They are carrying a hoot for the sentiments of the people. They're not even, I mean, uh, uh, giving constitution the due regard. It's a direct infringement into the basic rights of people, right? So now you see what has happened over the period of years. due to this intervention of this, the way the public sector banks have been used by successive governments. Uh, in fact, a lot of this, in between what had happened, this large credits which were for development finance institutions, like they used to function like ICICI, like IDBI, they used to cater to this infrastructure projects like power, the roads, like which have long gestation periods. But overnight, the government, this reverse nationalization, reverse
Hmm.
this IDBI bank, IDBI was made into a retail bank.
Hmm.
ICICI there was converted into a retail bank. Like
Hmm.
that, this IDFC, all this. Now suddenly, the public sector banks were asked to do this infrastructure lending, lending into huge quantum without any expertise, really. And then, this boom started, this 2008 and all. People suddenly they took loans from public sector banks, which suddenly they started this institutional credits,
Hmm.
and the portfolio was changed. But thereafter, the NPA started happening. So suppose you have established a power sector and you don't get the water supply, what will happen? You don't get
Hmm.
the coal supply. The power
Hmm.
sector will never take off. But you have taken
True.
a loan of 1,000 crore, 5,000 crore, 10,000 crore from a bank or a
True.
consortium of banks. So the loan will be declared an NPA. The provision norms will be changed, and you have to book the provision. Then that will take away a significant portion of your P&L.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what happened was suddenly from 2013-14 onwards, suddenly the public sector banks were started making losses. But all the public sector making operating profits, all the banks, due to only the provisioning norms, all the banks are showing a loss. I mean, most banks are showing a loss.
Hmm.
And incidentally, very interestingly, out of the total outstanding, say it was around 10 lakh crore, it has come down as per the latest
Hmm.
financial stability reports.
Hmm.
Around 6 lakh crore of outstanding is now of the public sector banks. So 90% of these loans are of corporate borrowers, and a majority of them are willful defaulters. You have heard of one Nirav Modi, one Vijay Malia, one Mehul Choksi. But there
Yeah.
are thousands and thousands of such persons who have looted the public sector banks and fled away from the country. I have seen hundreds and thousands and lakh of Sikh industries, but I'm in my 34 years of service. I am yet to come across a single Sikh industrialist. I do not know what he looks like, what food he takes, what vehicle he uses, what clothes he wears, right? I'm yet to find any such Sikh industrialist. I mean, they will be, I mean, I would rather frame their picture. Right? If I can find them in tattered clothes, taking a public vehicle to come to bank
True.
branch to
True.
clear up their dues. They're still driving BMWs and owning, there's Ferraris and all, fleet of Ferraris, this fancy yachts, right?
Yeah, people doesn't have any kind of changes and differences in their way of lifestyle anyway.
Nothing has changed. They have just siphoned off the money. They have declared
Hmm.
themselves defaulters. Now,
Hmm.
what the government is doing, they are making the public sector banks undergo this new concept as come haircut. Haircut means that you go to a barber for a haircut, right? That is the
Yeah.
normal
Swimming.
haircut means.
Hmm.
In banking term, the haircut has come at a wonderful. I mean, I don't know who coined this term, but it's weird, Suppose a company is having an outstanding of 600 crore and it declares itself a defaulter. It's unable to clear its dues.
Yes.
There will be a insolvency process. A committee will be set up, and the company will be sold off to another entity, and they'll be buying it, say at a discount of say 50%. That is a yardstick. That normal the if your dues are outstanding 600 crore, the floor
Hmm.
price would be somewhere like 300 crore. So what
Hmm.
happened was this budget. The finance minister also announced on 1st of February two public sector banks will be privatized. Along with it, one national insurance company, IDBI Bank, and the foreign investment in LIC will increase to 24%. This effectively means the privatization of LIC insurance also. Now, interestingly, IDBI Bank, they had large borrowers.
Okay.
Two of the companies that I can recall was Alvika Steel and Usha Ispat. Now,
Okay.
one of the companies owed the system, IDBI Bank, around 600 crore.
Okay.
Ultimately, after the assets were disposed of, IDBI Bank only got around 40 crore. And the rest, 560 crore, it took as a haircut. It's just not chopping your hair. It's just chopping your body parts and giving these few strands of hair as a gift to IDBI. This is what is called haircut. That you are cutting the entire body, chopping it in pieces, and you're just taking a few strands of the hair and giving it to the bank. Look, this is all we have got by selling off this company, and you can write off your debt of 560 crore. So this is
So I
happening in the
just
public sector
wanted to,
banks.
I just want to add one thing in between your this important information, that being a normal civilian, though we are like I had been a UPSC aspirant, now I am a UPSC faculty. We always go through all these terminologies and thing. We know what is called bank insolvency. We know all these NPA things, but we only go for the definition and the dimension of the government
What is
thing,
like
right?
for a layman? What is
This,
for a
but this is
layman?
the real time information that is not known
Yeah.
to the people. So it's like,
Now, what is happening is another very frightening thing.
yeah, that is
See,
very frightening.
frightening thing is that people's money are being actually going off. Right. Now, the government has reduced corporate taxes. The corporate tax collection at the end of the say 19 fiscal was around 6.63 trillion, that is 6.63 lakh crore. It came down in the next fiscal, in the 20 fiscal, it came down to around 5.56. In 21 fiscal, it has come down to around 4.40 or odd. So the government has lost about 2.20 lakh crore as revenue. Now the government is trying to compensate by this. This is a gift to the. This is a boon to this corporate crony corporate houses, which are propping up this government. And the government, they have, they have invested in this government, and they are now extracting their pound of flesh like Shylock. The government has to please them, so they have pleased. They have went one step ahead by reducing the corporate taxes. One, and then they are trying to recoup the losses by earmarking a budget of 1.75 lakh crore by selling off public sector entities, out of which 1 lakh crore is going to be sold by two public sector banks. And Madam Finance Minister has said she has not named the banks. She said, if my target is not met, I'll select two large banks. If my target is met, select two banks which are so-called quote unquote sick. Now, I am talking about NPAs a little while earlier. I was talking about NPAs. Now, out of say total 6 lakh crore of NPA, even if 20% is recovered, through this stringent legal actions, even the RBI is not publishing the list of willful borrowers, defaulters. They say it is bad for the industrial climate. I do not know. And we want to take up the mask now in this pandemic. Everybody is wearing a mask. I'm also wearing a mask which has this, that we oppose bank privatization. I wish I could show
Oh,
you the mask.
okay.
We are distributing the
Hashtag.
mask to the yeah, but we are wearing the face is not visible. The masks are visible more. So we want to take this mask of the face of these people and expose them to the world, to the country, that these are the people who have looted the national assets, who have looted your money. They need to be exposed. Now, what has happened? Now, this they are telling that our honorable prime minister said government has no business to be in business. It's a very strange thing, There are around 348 central public sector enterprises, out of which around, I remember correctly, I have some notes somewhere. Um, yeah, around 178 are profit making, right?
Okay.
And 248 are operational, out of it, maybe 70 are not making profit, right? Making losses.
Hmm.
Now, total profit earned by this central public sector enterprises is like 1.74 lakh crore. And the dividend they have earned, total dividend they have paid to the government, is around 35,543 crore. And the total loss only was by those entities which are in loss. It's only 31,000 around 650 odd crore. Just think of the losses made by these big companies like XYZ. This
Whatever it is.
one of the top workers are is in total mess.
Hmm.
Their loss would be accumulating like some lakh of crore. If that company is declared as NPA, some banks will go bust. Several banks will go bust, right?
So it does
So
mean, so maximum viewer will
now,
think, they
now,
can,
now, now,
they
what the
can.
government is doing,
Okay.
basically by privatizing the banks, what I want to mean to say, I've been asked this question by one. I was in Bangalore. A young
Hmm.
girl in a college. I was addressing a group of students. She
Hmm.
was asking me, "Why do you opposing this?" At that time, we were opposing the mergers of banks.
Sure.
10
Answer.
public sector banks were merged into four. Before that, Bank of Baroda acquired two public sector banks, Vijay Bank and Dena Bank. Now,
Hmm.
what she said, what is the need of this so many bank branches? The government is saying, what is the need of having so many banks? We need one or two banks. The rest will be privatized. Efficiency will be improved. And there's a fallacy. Had the private sector banks had been so efficient, why would ES Bank be bailed out by State Bank of India? What have they done with their advances? There was nobody to monitor. They were outside the purview of Central Vigilance Commission, and they did whatever they felt like. What happened to the exalted CEOs of two private sector banks? I'm not going to name them. What is their current state? Because they had done so many quote unquote, this irregular advances
Acha. Hmm.
by this. That is why they are now hardly. I mean, somebody is in jail. Somebody has been removed from the CEO position.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to name the banks or the persons concerned, but that's nothing. Nothing. I mean, all that hype, all that glitters is not gold. The government is deliberately trying to shrink the public sector space in banking by stopping recruitment. Many
Okay.
people complain that we don't get good service in the public sector banks. That is one
Yes.
of the primary reason is being that they are
Specifically is by
largely understaffed.
people always
Largely
complain.
understaffed. Yeah, people will always complain
Hmm.
because in so-called this much high public private sector banks, not all people can make an entry. You need a minimum balance specified. The
True.
common people cannot. I remember State Bank having a tagline: "The biggest bank for the smallest man." I used to, I used to look up those billboards, and I used to, I felt a tremendous sense of pride that I'm working in a bank which was serving even the poorest of poor people. That was the
True. So,
dream we had, that to cater to the poorest of the poor. We are banking in remote corners. You talk of the army guarding difficult terrains, but our officers are working in difficult terrains in Leh, Ladakh, the remotest Andamans, where there's no connectivity. Army
exactly.
personnel stay for 6 months in high altitude. They come down. They are replaced by another set of people. But our officers are working for in those remote areas for 2 years. The minimum transfer is for 2 years.
Hmm.
So we are working. We are the financial army actually. And in
True.
this
So,
COVID pandemic, we have proved that when everything was shut down, only the banks could keep the wheels of the economy moving. Now this government is trying to reverse the nationalization, or once again offer the public sector banks to the crony corporate houses which used to own them at one point of time. They're demanding that banks should be given to them that will
hmm.
enable them to wipe out their borrowings. And in future, if the banks go bust, the government will just shrug and say, "We are not concerned." There'll be some deposit insurance up to a certain level, but beyond that, if you have some money, it will be gone, wiped out. Rural people will be forced to again bank with these fintech companies, money lenders in new avatar. For every transaction, they will be having to pay a price. The service charges have gone up astronomically. The FD rates for senior citizens have come down to a certain extent. They cannot make both ends meet. They have no pension, relying on the interest of the bank deposits. And the government says, don't invest, don't keep money in the banks, go to the stock markets and play. Tomorrow, your entire savings could be wiped out at one stroke. And this is the
So
message from the
I
government.
just want to tell you one thing here. Actually, I just want to add one thing. Actually, I don't want to add. I just want to I just want to convey my question in regarding that. First of all, I always tell people, because as the bureaucrats' work is not to go into the political scenario, better just to work for the government, right? So I am not taking the section of the government thing,
Yeah.
but
See, if
your
the
problem
government
is
wants,
not about the
if the,
government. Your problem is
yeah,
about the
yeah, I'm
policy.
just coming to that. If the government wants to privatize everything, why have this elections? You elect a president and leave the rest to
Hmm,
the bureaucrats.
true.
Why so many ministries? Why would you hold
Absolutely.
positions? If you want to
Because
privatize, you privatize the entire government. East India Company had done that. East India
that's
Company used to run this country.
true.
So, if you want to privatize, sell off the national assets, you should start by practicing from your home. Don't preach, practice what you preach. There should not be any governance, should
So
not
what
be any
is
ministry.
so
If
so
I
what is
go by the theory of this government, I'd like to question Honorable Prime Minister. What does he mean by the government has no business to be in business? It has every right to be in business, to offer this, to cater to the citizens of the country who require these services at a minimum cost. This government wants to nationalize the losses, you know, and privatize the profits. What is privatization for a layman?
Ajay.
Suppose what is privatization? It means that people will be making some profit, right,
Hmm.
by doing the business.
Hmm.
Where would
Hmm.
be the profits coming from? From you and me who are using the
No,
services?
no, no,
Like
general
if you are
public.
using electricity from, say, a private entity, they will be increasing the consumer charges, per unit consumption charges, arbitrarily at their own whims. The common people have to foot the bill. Suppose you are using the cell phone services of a private service provider. The moment somebody gets a majority control, a monopoly, I won't name the company. Today they will be offering the prices, the service at a cutthroat prices. They will wipe out the competition. And
Hmm.
tomorrow, when they have the control, they will just jack up the prices. You have to pay through your nose for the services. So that exactly what is privatization is all about, like making profit at the cost of common people for the services.
But sir,
So this is
at
the
the
battle.
time, what had like
So
according
this is the
see
battle. This is see. I'll just come to
that I
right.
got it because it's a
No,
pura
this is
wo
I'm coming to all
जोर
that.
लगा देंगे.
But tomorrow and day after tomorrow, it is a strike, not only for the bankers. It is a
हाँ,
strike given to safeguard the national assets, to safeguard the public sector banks, which are the lifeline of the nation. And
true
we
that.
require the support of common people, of
Hmm.
the farmers, of the small,
Hmm.
medium enterprises owners, of the self-help groups, of the retirees, of the students, of the youth, of the women, of the poor people of the country. You stand beside the bankers and tell them, yes, we are with you. We are with your struggle. I'm expecting a huge turnout at all centers. In Calcutta, we are expecting farmers to join our picketing. We are expecting self-help group, hundreds of women to flood the bank branches to show their solidarity. The retirees, students, the workers, they'll be coming and showing their
So
support
the
is pouring in from all quarters. I'm getting so many letters of support from so many fraternal organizations, central
hmm.
trade unions, even the auto rickshaw unions. When I was distributing our masks, they said that yeah, we are with you. When they
Hmm.
understood that if the bank goes, they will be forced, their savings will be going. So they said we will be standing with you tomorrow. That is the
So I
message to the
just hope
people of the
I
country, to the
only
viewers of your channel. Kindly share this. That it is not the end. The 2 day strike will not be end. We are all, they are parting with our salaries, hard-earned salaries. It's not like strikes in other sectors where no salary is deducted. All the bankers, for them, 2 days of salary will be deducted from our salaries. But we are doing it for a common cause, for a goal, for the common people. We need your support.
But yes, sir, 100% the support is with the banker now. I'm very sure the one who is viewing this, and I'm very sorry due to the internet obligations. Sometime your word was being disrupted, and I was trying to intervene in it, but I didn't wanted to stop you. But still, I have some now queries because we have been taught always being a bureaucrat. You need before being a bureaucrat when you go and you write down the UPSC paper, you need to have a proper balance analysis of every topics, either it is any political scenario or it's a general scenario, whatever it is. On that behalf, though I am not that much master in the subject, but you are not only master, you can be
No, no, no.
denoted
I'm
as
not.
a, you can
I
be
have
denoted
spoken in
as a
the.
principal of it.
I have
But
tried to explain the things from a common people's angle. I, I
but
don't want to
still,
go into the jargons, the
no, no,
intricacies
that
of
will be
balance
not
and all.
understandable by people, but still, I know so many viewers are there who are, hardcore. They only have the self-analytical mindset. Then I am sure they will be definitely asking me in the comment section, ma'am, why this is not you have asked to sir. So this is why I'm asking you, sir. We have known about the great American recession, right? At that time also, America, like the country like America also faced this thing, like the whole privatization of the bank. America also goes under that. But after that, it has been seen that anyway that country has been cope up with this thing, and now they are doing well. So, what is about India? Don't you think that it is going on the same phase? I am not a pro-government person at all. I am not even say. I'm just talking. I'm asking you on the point of the analytical view. Like students should have that thing, no? That what is the pros and cons? That we have already have heard about this all this setup from the nationalization to the present scenario from you only, right? But what about this? Is there not any cons, like not any pros? Because every cons has been set, like
I,
seen.
I,
Because
I, I,
as you
I,
take the
the
example of
only pros will be enjoyed by these crony corporate houses. That is
acha.
the only,
So you are
only,
saying that
yeah, the
you
entire
are saying that
privatization, this
because
gamut.
you mean to say in the case of the
Only
USA,
see, inequality is rising,
exactly.
inequality in our
So
country is rising. In the COVID period, X company, their daily profit was increasing manifold. I will not name the company.
yeah, I
So
understand.
why is this inequality rising? Because
Because
we
of
are
the
living in,
destruction of the
you know,
economic section.
yeah, we are living in, this gated, areas. In
Exactly,
Scandinavian
exactly.
countries, there's more
Yes,
open.
yes,
Like
yes.
in this gated communities, there is inequality. There will be inequalities.
Sure, sure.
And
I
another
want
very
to come.
important point is our,
Okay.
this right to speak, our constitutional rights are being infringed upon.
Hmm.
The
True,
right to
true.
protest, the right of freedom of expression, the right
That
of
is why
equality,
trade union is there, sir.
right
That
of
is why
freedom
trade union
to
is there.
live, to live. Everything. Today I'm speaking my mind. Tomorrow I could be behind the bars. I'll be branded as an anti-national
No,
or
no,
an
that
urban
that is
Naxal.
not going to
I don't
happen
know. I
because
mean, these are the
it's not
jargons
that
of this
much
government.
bad. No, no,
Whoever
it's
is
not that much
showing
bad
any
at all.
protest, whoever is showing any dissent. I'm not against any political party, right?
Yeah, because banker are
We
never
have
against only
we
political
have
party.
no. All India Bank Officers Confederation is a totally non-political organization. It's the
Yeah.
largest supervisory cadre organized trade union in the entire world, having a membership over 3.20 lakh officers across
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
officer banks, private banks, cooperative banks, regional rural banks. There are so many people in our organization, but we don't have any political allegiance to any trade union, central trade union, or to any political party. We have been opposing the policies of the government, whichever color it may be, red,
Ah,
green, blue,
yeah.
saffron, right?
The simple thing is that you are
So,
talking about the policy. It's
yeah,
not about the
policies,
government thing or
not
the
against
party.
any person, not
Not
against any party.
exactly,
Right?
exactly,
That is why I could access, I can go right up to
exactly. So,
ministers without have any, tagline on my, on my
everyone, huh? Yeah, I got it.
back
I got it.
that I belong to a certain political party. I am not a member of any political party. So
Yeah,
my focus is
yeah.
to espouse the cause of the members and to ensure that banking service reaches out to the common man. If there are impediments, if there are labor reforms which will thwart the trade union movement, we will be fighting it out tooth and nail. Precisely that.
Hmm. I got it.
So shall we
So
shall we
it
wrap
does.
up the interview today?
Yeah, we will. But
Shall we?
before that, I really want to say two, three things to you. That
Yes.
first of all, the thing is that what you are saying that yes, the common people definitely have the support for the strike, because now we know about the the corn and
No,
juncture of
common
it.
people have to be made aware. That
Yeah,
is
they should.
something.
They should. This is why
Yes.
I
No, the
asked
people
you
are
to
not
say.
aware why the bankers are on strike,
Yeah,
because no
true, true.
mainstream media will. They will only show the banks are closed for 4 days. Public life will be inconvenienced. That is the mainstream
Exactly.
media, which is now
Exactly.
owned by a few corporate houses. Most of this media. Now they
True.
will never really come out with why we are on strike. So the
Hmm.
common people tomorrow, if they know that the bankers are on strike not for our salary revision or any
No.
for social benefit, it's for the interest of the common people. That the message we have to put it across
So
the country.
I will request you, please, please, because most of the people also there who are Bengali. So, what is your message for this your statesman?
Desh bachao, bank bachao.
This is a one liner. That is more than enough. देश बचाओ बैंक बचाओ. हाँ, देश बचाते गले पर बैंक के बचाते ही होगे. Sir, then what do you think? Like I am about to wrap up this session, but still I
I
am
will be
like
releasing a music, right? Tomorrow, a song in Bengali from All
yeah.
India Bankers Confederation. I will share
हाँ.
the link with you so that you can
हाँ,
upload
I
it in
will
your
be
channel.
definitely share it to the people as well. But sir, actually वो हो
Recently,
जाता है ना.
some of the songs and have hit the ground. This political arena. I'm very enthused with the songs. Various parties have
हाँ,
come out with their version of songs, right?
अच्छा,
So
अच्छा.
that the common people find it very enjoyable. So we are coming
हाँ.
out with some lovely
I will
melodies.
be also the one of the person who is now eagerly waiting for that. Actually, I really
Tomorrow
want to, because the time
I'll be
constraint is
sharing
there.
the video. I'll be sharing the
Yeah,
video.
I will be taking it. But though the time constraint is there, but it seems like you are standing in a mine of a diamond, and you are not asking the diamond to pour it out. वो तो हो नहीं सकता. This is the reason I am just I just want to wrap it, but still I cannot, because I really wanted to ask you so many things. I hope that you will give some extra
Can
day
we
to
can we
my
have
viewers.
another session tomorrow or day after tomorrow on the success of the strike?
100% probably we will be trying as early
Yeah,
as
or
possible on the in time.
on
Yeah,
what
because
is
we
our
need,
future course of action.
yeah, for the aspirant, for the students, for them I also want to, because
For the
after
students, many of
knowing Shomo in this way,
see your
after
students are
knowing
doing very
Shomo
good.
in this way, I just want to know that person behind this AIBOC GS. I just want to know that person, because वो हो जाता है ना, आप सालों साल किसी के साथ हो रहे हो, but still you are deprived of the person's personality, and I really don't want to miss this opportunity. So I will request all my viewers, stay tuned with us, because we are going to have another enormous session with Somo sir. And
You can
yes,
have a
this
session.
guy,
It's
this
called
was
up. You can have a session titled with the tagline "Up Close and Personal."
okay, sure, that I will be doing. And in that case, I am sure so many bankers has also joined in this views, and I will request you all to this is absolutely a non-political conversation, because don't take it in this way that government policy are coming so the person is against the political scenario. No, not at all. It's absolutely a non-political thing, and but it is about the in the importance or the in the significance of the general public is been consolidated here. This is why this information was important for you guys, and this is why Shomo sir was here. Thank you so much for being with us, and we just want to have another conversation with you very soon, and I promise that I will we will be back. So please stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video as much as you can, because I want to sir to tell this thing again in total. I want to make him this total video in Bengali as well for my Bengali people, because yes, in a layman language, একদম সেই হয় না গড়পড়তা বুঝিয়ে দেওয়া, because people have so many
সা-
misconception
সাধারণ
about
মানুষ
things.
বুঝতে পারে, সাধারণ মানুষ
Uh,
তাদের ভাষায় বুঝতে পারে।
exactly, this is why I want that also. So this was the conversation. Thank you so much for your precious time. I know you're so much busy must be nowadays because you have to interact with the medias and all and things, but thank you so much for being with us. And ধন্যবাদটা তো আপনার জন্য অনেক কম হবে, but still be with us, keep your support to us, and please any message to the aspirants.
See, there's no substitution for hard work. Okay. At times you feel like giving up. There'll be times you feel like giving up. But never quit. It's not a cliche. Just believe in your abilities that your time will come someday. There's no
Thank you so
substitution
much.
for
This is a guru mantra. This is going to be a guru mantra for everyone. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Good night.
Good day.